Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Pits of Motorcast. This is your host Dave. I got a special guest all the way from California, Harvey Williams, alcohol funny car driver. How's it going, Harvey?
Oh, pretty good. Well, I'll start off right. I'm not the driver. I own the car.
Oh, you're the owner.
I tuned the car. I'm actually scared to drive the car, and I actually have a good friend of mine, Tony Tremp, who actually drives the car for me.
Yeah.
But I actually give people the same time I give them the experience to learn how to drive one of these cars. Usually, every year I give somebody new opportunity to learn how to drive one of these cars. So I told them get the license or start to feel how to get the license.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. Like right now, I'm got a young girl. She has turned 19 last year. But I've been actually her and her father. I've been watching them since she was about like 12 years old in junior dragsters, and now she's old enough. She runs like a 9-second car. And so me and the father and her have been talking, so she's been in my car, fired it up a couple of times on the stands, and she's been doing that since she was about 15 years old, since 19. I said, well, I'm not going to take your first year until you turn. If these guys go 18, when you're 19, if you want to do it, we jump in my car and we'll make a couple passes and see if you like it. So this year, we're going to get a license in it.
So how many years have you owned this car now?
I've been going on roughly about since 2007. About 2007. And one thing I learned about it is that it was just not me. It was a lot of people helping, at the same time.
Now you raced that car with the Sifka group?
Oh yes, definitely. Been running with them guys. Actually, I started before I even owned my car. That's how I really got into it because a guy here in Sacramento named Jesse Ocala, he had a car. And that was like in 2002. I met him, and I've been working on these cars with Pacifica since 2002. And so, yeah, it's been fun. Been pretty fun.
Now, have you ever drag raced at all?
Oh, yeah. Back in the days, as I got into it, I used to, back when I was about 18, 19 years old, I used to do a lot of, mess around on the streets. And short story is a police officer basically busted me one day and told me go kind of race on at the big track here. It was called Sears Point then in Sonoma. And I started going. I took my hot rod car, tubbed it out at a 69 Cougar, tubbed it out, and started taking it every Wednesday nights to Sears Point to go do racing. Fastest I got to run was like 10:65, in a quarter mile, and I had fun. But I just knew I wasn't a driver. I started shaking. I was nervous all the time, and I said, I'm pretty good with tuning stuff, but I'm scared to drive. I like speed, and so I got opportunity to go racing professional with the big boys, and I got to learn quite a few famous people, and knew how to do it. I came back and basically got a car, and I said, I'm going to find somebody to drive the car for me. And I gave a couple people opportunities. I think so far it's been like about 14 people gave opportunity to drive these cars, about 4 of them are really some real good drivers, They win a lot, One guy, he's doing it professionally. I actually didn't give him an opportunity. I asked him to drive my car for me one day, Chris Morrell. He has a big show car. But that matters, but that didn't matter to me. I got a guy who owns a 9-second car, and his name is Chris too. And he'll go out there and drop in my car and go run 190 miles an hour, close to 200 miles an hour, and perform just like a top show guy, And that's what I like about it, This is me.
Yeah, Chris Morrell, he has the CUDA.
Yeah, he has the CUDA, yeah. But before him, I could say, like right now, the guy Tony Tremp, who drives my car, we won so far, I think, about 4 championships together. Before him, his son actually drove my car. I gave his son the opportunity when he was about the same age, about 19 years old. Actually, sorry about that. He was like 17 years old. And he jumped in my car, and we went down to Bakersfield in a nostalgia race. And we went down there and got all the way down in the finals and stuff like that. You know, he was like, wow. And then his grandpa and him and his father, they bought another car. That's Dave Smith here at Sacramento Raceway. He owns the racetrack out here in Sacramento. And we was going down Bakersfield for quite a few years, running 2 cars and doing pretty good, you know, and really enjoyed it. And I'm still doing it.
Now, how about the rest of the people that have drove that car? Are they all still racing?
Oh, yeah. I'm actually, like right now, it's actually really 2 people who really drive the car for me right now. And it's sad to say that it's about 3 Chris's, but I got Tony Tremp. His actually is the driver of the car, but sometimes if he cannot make it for a race, we'll put somebody else in. And usually the next person is called guy Chris Bates. He'll jump in the car and drive it for me. Then it's not Chris Bates, it's Chris Reed. And Devin Chris will jump in the car and drive the car for me. But majority of the time, it's Chris Bates and Tony Tremp who drive the car for me. You know, so yeah.
That funny car. What make is that car? The body. What is it?
Oh well, I used to have a I had a '86 Corvette body on it before, and I ran that when I first got the car. But now I got me a '66 fastback. Mustang. This guy actually in Pennsylvania went back. I think that was in 2017 17. I went back and I met a gentleman named Christopher, and he built old nostalgia bodies. And he basically, I said, "Why you not have an old body?" I said, "I'm trying to get one. You know, it costs a lot of money." And he told me, "You come back the following year," you know, basically he told me, "I'll have one for you, and I'll give you a super deal on it." And so James and Jim from Good Vibrations, they helped me and Tony and a couple of my crew members. We all went back east, and we came back. We put it in the body in the trailer, brought it back to California. It took me a year to get the tree and all that made underneath it, but a couple good friends here, Jeff and Terry, they live up in Chico. They own like a big steel company, and they helped me put the tree and all that underneath there for me last year, and been running it since last year. It's been pretty good so far.
Now, what do you got in that car? A screw blower?
Yeah, we got actually, I've got, it's a big Chevy motor. It's a dark block. It's actually 598 cubic inches now. With a little field blower. It was actually made in 2004. I got a whole little, roots blower. Nothing fancy about it. But it's more about, I tell people it's a lot about the tuning of the motors too, you know what I mean? I'm pretty much good with tuning off alcohol motors. Anything blown real, I can pretty much dial it in, you know, for an index. Like I tell people, it takes a lot to make a blower work than just, you know, anybody can get it to run, but you say, look, I want that thing to run, say it's a good number. I want it to run 7.0, you know. The next pass, I want to make that thing run like a 690. Now I want to slow it down. I want to run like a 750. Well, I'm that type of guy who could make it run what I kind of want it to run. I might be off by a little, but I get it real close to a couple of hits. And usually a lot of guys, it takes them several years to do that, to figure it out. And I can go in somebody's pits, and they have a blown motor, and they run the same index with me, and say their car's out there running like a 702, and they've been fighting it for 2 years, I could go over there and make it run like a 7.0, no problem. And they asked me, how did you do it? I said, I've been doing it too long, too many notes, writing off different other people's. Like in 1 year, I might tune on about 7 different cars to drag boats. And so I get all this different information, from a Hemi to a blown Chevy motor to even a small block blown application. And like my drivers, that's what makes me pretty good, and my team really, I say, successful. A lot of these guys race maybe in 1 year, they might go down the track average. I could say one guy might go about like 300 to about 400 passes. The other guy might do the same, and the other guy. So it's the same with the tuning with me. I'm going and tuning several different vehicles or boats. I've got so much data to throw at it because I know from the weather, the temperature, the air, there's just a lot more stuff goes into it. And so it makes it a lot easier for me. But as I was just maybe going out there maybe once a month, it's kind of hard to compete at a good level. And that's what makes it pretty easier for me, you know. It's just for me.
Now, when you get out there with the Sifka group, do you tune anybody else's cars?
Oh man, I actually, it's funny you say that. Sometimes it will be like 7 cars or 8 cars show up. Usually them 7 cars, I'm usually helping 2 other guys, you know. One guy definitely is a real good friend of mine. His name is Rick Alvarado. He used to do drag boat racing. Then he ended up, we're real good friends. He ended up buying a car like 2 years ago. So me and him, I tuned his car, you know, we help each other out. My team help his team help mine. But for me, if somebody comes from another team and needs my help, I'll still go there and help them, you know, and trying to get their car going, or if a part's broken or something like that, as I got it, as I know somebody might have it, I'll go try to find the part for them, or send one of my team members to go over there and try to find the part for us. But that's what makes it fun. You know, I just don't want to go out there and, don't help no one. I think that's being more stingy. I believe in sharing. Like I tell my drivers, a couple of times we have competed against each other in 2 different classes. And I give them both the same tune-up. You know, hey, now it's up to you guys to go. Whoever's the best driver is going to win. And they've seen it for their own self. They'd be like, wow, this guy, he didn't even just compete against his car, but he gave us a better tune-up than he gave his car. Well, I mean, it's the driver, more of the driver error or something happening. It's like, yeah, I said, no, I don't play that game. Hey, I leave it up to the drivers. See, the best man wins, you know, and they're like, wow. So, I like to compete. I don't like to lose. I'll tell you straight up from the gate, but usually when I go to the racetrack, my team and me and my drivers, whoever's driving the car that weekend, we do come out there to win. We just don't come up there just to show that we was here and be a spectator. We come out there to compete, you know. And that's what makes us, I think, pretty much, you know, a good team.
Now, isn't that the great thing about drag racing, how everybody's always wanting to help each other out all the time?
Oh, man, it's one of the great things. I can tell you a quick story. I've got not just one, but several. I met some of my best team people work on my team. I actually met them as fans in the stand. And they're walking by after racing, and, you know, we must have won. And they're like, you know, hey, man, can I help you out? I said, man, come on over here. You know, they started joking. Next thing, 2 years later, you know, he's working on the team. You know, he's like, man, I was just leaving the racetrack one day, and this guy, you know, offered just to mess around. I thought he was joking. And I come up and start taking the car off your jack stands for him. And when you going to race the next time? I said, I'll be here in about 2 more months. Called me up 2 more months later, and best thing I can say is that he ended up being on the team, you know. So to me, that's a good thing, you know. Really enjoy about it. I meet a lot of people from racing all around the United States. Good attitude, positive, everything, nothing negative. I enjoy it. I meet a lot of friends here in the Sacramento, all the different local business I deal with here in Northern California, even Southern California. But just meet people all around the world. It's pretty fun, We enjoy it.
All right, so Harvey, what do you enjoy most about being a funny car tuner
Uh,
and
well,
owner too? What do you enjoy both about being an owner and tuner?
you I could say this. The best thing I could say here recently in the last 2 years, what happened? Some of my team members have been with me for a long time now, and one of the guys I've been known since I was about like 17 years old, 18 years old, and he ended up been working on my car. His name is Chad, and I turned my tuning, all my notes over to him. I said, Chad, I think that was 2017 or 18. Can't remember. But I think it was 18. I'm just going to say it was 18. I might be wrong one year. And turned it over to him. I says, Chad, we won the championship the year before. I said, Chad, you go out here and win the championship. And I want to sit back and be an owner. And I'm going to let you tune the car, run the whole operation. And the only thing I'm going to sit back as an owner and see how this plays out. Well, with Chad being the tuner, Tony the driver, Andrew the starter guy, Devin doing the engine, and the guy Don doing everything else. And then my sister Jacqueline and a lady named Amy and the rest of George and Roger, all these people who helped me on the team. They all worked together and they won the championship. And one thing I done was sit back and watch for a whole year. I opened up my wallet and paid the bills. Don't get me wrong. But I sat back as an owner, felt like a NBA owner, and just sat back, or a football owner, or a drag race owner, and just sat back, and you could watch your team operate without me saying very little. You know what I mean? Let them do their own thing.
Yeah.
And and they won the championship on their own. And to me, that felt like, hey, you know what? I taught everyone how to do their job. And they all learned how to do their job correctly. And you could put a team like that, and you could step back, and they do the whole thing and go win. For an owner and for a tuner, it was nothing higher than that for me. I felt like, hey, I did this. Wow, that's a good feeling. A lot of guys, sad to say, who owns these race cars, they try to tune the car, drive the car, tow the car to the racetrack, manage there's a lot of the stupid things will go into it, make sure you have your oil, your spark plugs, making sure that you got all your tickets for everybody to get in, the hotels, everybody plays a role. And for me to sit back and put a team together that everybody helps out, I ain't got some of my people, the people who work on the car, they bring the food, the drinks, well organized. And so for me, as like I said, getting back to the question, sitting back as a tuner, that I could teach other people, just not even my people on my team, other people on other teams, and show them what I know, and they improve. That's a good feeling. I don't know what else to say about it. Because I tell people all the time, I don't even use a computer. But how do you do this? I said, I do it back from the guys from the 60s and 70s. I said, I did read the spark plugs, know what to look for on the motor, look at the parts, tires, oil, bearings, head gaskets, all that simple stuff, looking at the header pipes. They're like, what? I said, there's no computer on my car. I said, the only thing I have a battery on there because it works the trans brake. But everything else, is manual. And I go look at some other guys' cars. They spent on electronics, you say like 15, 20,000, and they're still having problems. And I don't laugh. I just don't. It's very simple. They make it. Some people overthink it. That's just me.
Now, Harvey, is there anything that you hate about being a funny car owner besides the money that has to come out of your pocket?
No. I have no regrets because I could say it like this: other people, they could, how you could say it, like some people they got different sports hobbies, and some like I'm not saying like golf. You could take a golf ball with quite a few of your friends, right? You guys could go out there and hit a golf ball, right? And you all have that same enjoyment, no pleasure and all that, Same thing like as drag racing. But one thing I could say for being anything negative about it would be that I wish I could do more for others. That'd be I wish I could do more, but I need to do so much. I'm only one person. I don't have no regrets. If I won the lottery right now, and I'm not trying to be saying, I'll go out and buy another race car, but I'll definitely take care of some responsibilities first. But I definitely will go out and buy another race car, and I definitely will try to go do a big show deal. Never got the opportunity to do it. I would like to have the opportunity to go do it, but on my own dime, not on somebody else's time, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I think it's been great. I mean, other people will spend the money on other things for themselves, but when I go spend my, say, whatever, $3,000 for some rods and some pistons, at least I said, well, my friend told you he can go down the track and make quite a few passes on it and whatever. I don't think about, you know what, man, I can go fishing with this, go a nice good, down Mexico for a weekend, take this $3,000 or $4,000, go down there for a weekend and enjoy it by myself. Or I could go out here and buy these rods and pistons. I could go enjoy it with about 20 other good of my friends and have a good time. I'm going to go do that, Harvey. That's what I'm going to go do. That's just me.
Now, do you have any sponsorship for that car?
Well, I can say this. People say, well, Harvey, how you do it? I said, I have sponsorships, but it's mostly a lot of the local guys here, business. I can say I got a good friend, Jim, ATO Transmission. I got a guy, Torque Converter, Matt. I got another guy, the engine guys over here, Rick Crackaway, but a guy, Jesse Adams. Got the paint guy. Well, several paint guys is working on trying to get my car painted right now. I got a header guy, Don, who does my headers for me. So many Blue Collar Customs. Them guys, they help me out with like some of the fabrication work needs to be done. But these old guys, I could say, another one, I can't forget them. Good Vibrations, James and Jim from Good Vibrations, they help me out whatever they, possible, in a lot of ways. Thanks to them. But do I have somebody give me like any like $10,000 or $5,000 checks? No. Do I have somebody give me $30,000 or $20,000? No. But when I need some parts, or I need my transmission, I need my engine work done at these machine shops, or who builds these parts, these guys do help me out. DJ Safety, I can't mention band, them guys, he shoot my parachutes, all my safety equipment. I'm missing so many people, but as like I said, as a cash flow, no. As helping me out in some big way, yes. Every little bit helps out. There's no amount that if a guy comes up to me and says, Harvey, I'm gonna give you $50. I'll tell him thank you very much. If a guy comes and gives me $100, thank you very much. You know what I mean? I treat them all the same, no different. But major sponsors, no, never had it. Never had it.
So now, if you could have the fans that come out and watch that funny car race remember, one thing about that funny car, what would you want them to remember about it?
Oh, one thing. Well, you know what? Everybody. I mean, not trying to be funny or joking, anything. Everybody laughs about our team because we got a lot of mixed race on our team. We got Mexican, white, Chinese, Filipino, black, Asian. We got every type of nationality you think on my team. And so everybody, they always ask us, how do you guys all get along? We says, we all got something in common. And they say, what? I says, the racing. But then after the racing, we found out, for me doing it personally, that it comes more than that. Like, hey, my car got a flat tire. Hey, well, that guy lives right down the street. They'll leave and go pick him up, get his tire fixed. Oh, whatever it might be. Sometimes it's simple things, sometimes some big things. But we all end up helping each other in some type of way beyond racing. So I can say anything that if somebody remember us from our racing team, we've always been there to help each other out. And we've always been more a team that don't argue. We've always been very professional and very trying to treat everybody the same in any means. That's why I want to. Everybody say, "Well, you guys win a lot." Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I'm happy with that too. Don't get me wrong, but our best people to know us as more of a giver than a taker. We'll help everyone out as possible we could and do the best we could. That's what I want people to remember me by. Not being stingy and all about I. It's about us. All of us.
Now, how did the name Rough and Ready Racing come about?
Well, that's a real short story on that one. This other gentleman who helped me out big time, he lives up in the town of Rough and Ready, up in the hills. And he always said, Harvey, is you're racing any time in life, and I'll help you out with all this stuff, and he wants to stay anonymous. That's why I can't say no names. He says, would you always run Rough and Ready? I said, I always have that in the front of the nose of the car, and my team will always be Rough and Ready. And he says, all right. And I left it as that. And so always since people want to change the name, like the car is called Happy Hour, but I said, no, but my team is named Rough and Ready. We can have 20 different names on these cars. I don't care. But my team is named Rough and Ready, and somewhere on this car, and it's going to usually be in the front nose or on the side, it's going to say Rough and Ready from the town Rough and Ready up here in Northern California.
So why Happy Hour?
Why Happy Hour? Well, that's another story. This guy, he passed away 2 years ago. And his name was Ricky, and he was a painter. And Ricky grew up in L.A. back in the 70s. He was like 64 years old. And he grew up in Airedale, drag strip, all back when they used to do a lot of hot rods. And he used to always watch the funny cars. And I met him at Sacramento Raceway. I think it was 2017. And he came up on a pedal bike, an old school mountain bike, beach cruiser style, nice. And he asked me, hey, young man, who's the owner of this car? And I told him, that's me. And we start talking. He says, man, you know what? I paint cars, a lot of show cars. I go, yeah. He goes, I always wanted to paint a funny car, but nobody wanted to give me opportunity. I said, well, you could go paint this. And he said, what? I said, yeah. And he says, he thought I was joking, you know. And so we actually, my Amy, my manager, she met him, had like a lunch deal with him. And they had a good conversation. Now I got to meet him like a week later. And he says, oh, D, I want to know if I could name the car, like I just told you. I said, well, look, we can put the name on the side, whatever you want, but the name of the car is Happy Hour. I mean, Rough and Ready. He goes, all right. He says, I can do what you want. I said, man, I don't care what you want. You can do whatever you want in the car. I don't care how you paint it. I don't care. Go ahead. That's what your dream is? Go ahead, paint it, sir. And so he painted, and then he came up with Happy Hour. He drew like a logo with some lady on the side and behind the bartender, you know what I mean? And he was thinking of he was seeing how he was always happy and always enjoying himself. And so he named it, that was the Corvette body. He named it Happy Hour. And everybody liked it, you know what I mean? So we ran with it. And so that's how we ended up getting that. And then about 7 months later, he passed away.
Wow.
So, yeah, and the gentleman that his name was Tony too, worked with him like his right hand man. And I was going over there for, like I said, he had it for like about 3 months. You know, done all the graphics and all that stuff. And the guy Tony kept on telling me, he says, "Man, you don't know how much this means to this guy Ricky." And like I said, I didn't get to know him for only about a year and a half total, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, when I got to know him in that year and a half, man, it's like somebody who I knew my whole life, you know what I mean? And then he came to the races. I don't want to go into whole detail with it, sir, but he came to the races. He seen the car, and then I didn't hear from him like 6 months later. And then his friend Tony comes over to my shop, says, "Hey, Ricky wants to see you." I went to go see him, and 3 days later he passed away. But so proud. We won so many championships with that car. I got so many awards at my house, and all. I'm actually got one of my trophies that when he painted it, I'm got hanging over my nightstand by my bed. I'm very proud of that one. I don't tell too many people that story.
So, so the car is sort of like a tribute to Ricky now too, right?
Yeah, that one was a tribute. Yeah, that car is a tribute to Ricky. That's the best way I could say that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite tracks to run that car at, Harvey?
Oh man, well, I can tell you this. Best way to say it, we mostly race Bakersfield, Sacramento, Reading. Then we go to Medford. Then we go to another track that I really, really like. That's called Samoa, but it's up in Eureka, right on the ocean. And then we ran the car far back as Pennsylvania and Ohio, but I haven't ran in Ohio yet. Every time I go, I only could do one or so. In the last 2 times I went to Pennsylvania. But this year I'm going back. I'm trying to do both Pennsylvania and Ohio in the middle of the summer. But the majority, best to say that your question to you, what track you think I run best at, I'm going to give you a better answer on that. Just the best answer to say, if I go down the track the whole year about 38 times, right? Out of 38 times, we roughly will only lose 2 times. Wow. So my average of a year, if we have 28 passes on this car, I might only lose once or 3 times at the most. So mostly any track that I usually show up to, it's a good chance that I'm going to make it to the finals or we're going to do real good. We work hard and we study old tracks. But anywhere usually I could show up to, I usually try to do the best I could, like I told you earlier. And so Of all the tracks I like to go to, I would say Sacramento because it's my home track for sure. And the one I like to go because the competition is just real good is Bakersfield. That's when people come from all around United States and from the world. You know what I mean? They show up for these nostalgia races, and so we really compete against some real good guys. You know, and we really like that. You know, so for me, wherever it's a good competition, that's where I like to be at. You know.
Yeah, and there's a lot of history at Bakersfield.
Yeah, a lot of history. A lot of history. Yeah, and met a lot of people in Bakersfield, a lot of good people. We got these one guys, we call them the 75, about 7-year crew. And it's about like five of them comes on there every year. And they park next to us. And them guys have a good time. You know what I mean? They enjoy life. And every time we go down there, we can't wait to have a good time with these guys. You know what I mean? And so Bakersfield's one of the best tracks I like to go to.
Now, have you reached any milestones as a funny car owner?
Nah, I could think of. I mean, I don't know. I wish, like anybody else, you know, could do a little bit better. You know, I mean, nothing major. Not really.
So now, you said you went to Pennsylvania. Would you go for the Funny Car Nationals over there?
Yeah. Oh man. Now, that was a cool race. The first year we went. The second year was all right, but I really enjoyed myself there. Especially because, you know, first time, you know, definitely racing my own car. You know, my own operation with, well, me and my friend Tony's operation together, phrase that. With our operation going out there and doing what we did, I was very happy with what we did both years. But this year when we go back, I ain't going back to just put a smile on my face. I'm going back there too, because now I know what I got to do. You know, I can't go back this year and I don't say, I'm not them guys to make up excuses. This year I will go show what I could do. You know, and the people who treated me, we had a good time. I mean, the fans, the racers, man, real nice. Treated us, the owners of the track, the people who even worked at the track. Man, I couldn't believe how nice they treated all the people who came with me, my friends, my wife, Tony, his wife, my manager was Amy, and Randy and his wife. They treated us real nice. We had a blast there, you know, really did, you know. It felt like I was back in a big national race back in 2006, 2007. It felt so good, you know.
Yeah, Dennis Salzwimmer does a great job doing that event.
Yeah. Did you go there last year?
No, I've not been to that event yet.
Man, you should go this year. I'm going to be there. And you can hang out with me. We'll have a good time. I'll be glad. If you tell me you're going to show up, man, I'll make sure I get you some free tickets to get in.
Yeah.
It'll be great. I'm hoping. We are going. I talked to James Mears, who puts a big part of that. They actually put my car in their trailer this year, and we're going to tow it back there this year. But the several years before that, we used my friend Tony Trent. We used his trailer, and we towed it back there. So this year we're going to do the opposite. They got a new stacker trailer and a new rig, so they're going to tow everything back there for us this year. So it's going to be pretty fun.
So how many events do you have planned so far for this year?
This year, here, like I said, doing the Sifka thing, I think we got 6 races, and they just put a new one up on us. They're trying to get something to go, because Bakersfield it's usually, it's always been in March, and they switched it over this year into May. And so Jim from Good Vibration and James from Good Vibration, they actually worked something out. Apparently, I think for the main the Bakersfield race they have this year in May, and they're trying to run funny cars. Now, usually I always go there and I have to run an ultra body. So they're trying to get, I think he said 10 or more funny cars to show up, and we're going to run our funny car thing, but we're going to run a 695 index. And he asked me, was you good for it? I said, anything you guys say you want to run, I'm good for it. So I hope it goes through, because usually I go run 7.0 Pro when it goes on to Bakersfield. But if they're going to run the funny cars, it's a 695 index. We run that 695 index. So, I think Bakersfield will be a good race this year as they have it for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. So I know you're itching to get out there, huh?
Oh man, yeah. I don't know if you have a wife or a girlfriend.
Yeah, wife.
But you got a wife. You know how you got them honey-do lists you got to get done before you go play.
Yep.
Well, I'm trying to knock off my little honey-do list now. And when I could go out and go racing, but I'm itching ready to go, just like any other racer might want to go racing this weekend or next weekend or in the next month, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, well, Harvey, I want to thank you very much for taking time tonight to do this interview.
Oh, no problem. And, anytime, just call me up. I'm glad to do another one for you.
Awesome. It was great talking to you.
Okay.
And you have a great night, and I wish you the best of luck with 2021 racing season.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, you have a good night, Harvey.
Okay, you too now.
Bye-bye.